So remember that. Are you done? A lot of you are not done. So don't sit back and be that bad team member, because everybody's watching you and everybody's gonna know you fucking bagged it. This is all part of being a fucking leader. Being a leader fucking sucks. You do everything in life that you do not want to do. You are unhappy 90% of your life. But that means that other people are eating because of you. They're living because of you. They're achieving because of you. So are you really in that bad a shape? So make a decision tonight. Do you want to be a leader, or do you want to be that person who just bags it and does their own? And I have a saying that says, I don't stop when I'm tired, I stop when I'm done. So when I was younger, I didn't have any goals. And it's not really so much about goals, it's just a fucking to-do list.
Yeah.
A to-do list. And as a human being, if you don't have a to-do list, you're gonna sit back and just fade away. It's like a lot of people who are in the military, who are in business, who are whatever, they say, hey, I'm gonna do 20 years and I'm gonna retire. Okay, what's next? So I have a what's next list. So then I never sit idle. I never sit idle. There's never one time in my life where I'm sitting back with free time and like just enjoying the sun. I made it. Yeah. I've arrived. No, I've never arrived. And a lot of people say, are you happy? Because I'm so driven that it almost makes people who are weaker in the mind think, my God, you must not be happy. That's a weaker person's way of saying, you've overachieved, David Goggins, and you're making me feel like.
Yeah.
So if I'm making you feel like, sorry about that. If I'm making you feel like, I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
If you ask me if I'm happy, I'm doing my job. Because when I was a weak person, these are some of the things I would ask a very driven person, because I didn't understand what the they were doing. Because they were so driven that my mind was so weak that I was like, they must not be happy.
Yeah.
I would find a way to put a title like they're crazy, or they're not fulfilled, or they're empty, because I didn't have what they had.
Yeah.
So basically, if I get these questions, I know I'm exactly where I need to be. I'm making you feel a certain way. It's about keeping the motivation to keep moving forward on the same exact path that you just failed. So that's what the I'm doing. So I never train with music. There's a reason why I don't do that. The music's not going to always be there. The TV, the distractions, all these external things. I'm in the gym right now with all this loud music. People need it to get fired up. They need it to stay motivated. They need to stay in the fight. They need it to just go in the gym to do whatever they're going to do. What do you do when you have no external motivation? It's about the internal. What do you say to yourself? How are you going to fire yourself up? What's that flame inside of you that keeps you going? Let that keep you going, not this. At the end of the day, I ask myself one question: can I take one more step? And usually the answer is yes. So if you can answer that question and not take another step, that is real failure. That is real quitting. So a lot of people can take one more step, but they choose not to. I don't know if you can take 2 steps. You got to answer that question after you take the first step. But I can always take one more step. So if I choose not to, that's on me. And I got to live with that. That's where the growth starts to happen, is when you have to force yourself to stay in it. You can't leave it. And in that practice is where that becomes proof positive. What I'm saying is like, God, like David Goggins, he's blowing my mind. What is this? He's not crazy. And so many people, a lot of people, have listened to me the right way, and they come back and they're like, I'm totally on board. It happened. It happened. They're like, it'll keep going, man, if you keep doing it. But that is it, man. There's no sun, there's no glory, there's no carrot, there's no victory. But there is all of it in one. I just can't explain it real well to people, man. But what you get at the other end is something that you're always found. You're never lost anymore. Doesn't mean the journey's easy. Doesn't get any easier, but you're always found. It's not like I'm gonna try one more time. No, it's just like alarm clock goes off, boop, we're going back. I can't read right, we're going back. I gave myself no way out, and my mind realized that. They said, okay, we're gonna adapt and overcome now. That's how your mindset needs to go into everything. So I don't look at it as failure is a big word that gets people down. We give so much power to words. I don't. I take the power right away. I didn't fail. It's not just about working out, but for me, working out has been a very big part of my mental growth. So for me, if I am not challenging myself every day, and I swear to God, people will not believe it, I was over almost 300 pounds twice in my life. A person that does that twice in his life does not enjoy cardiovascular activity, okay?
Yeah.
So people can put anything they want to in their head. I did realize one thing. The things I don't enjoy that I still do, that's where growth is at. And that's, for me, the only place growth is at, is in that very uncomfortable, in that uncomfortable zone. Be ready for life. Don't let life just start attacking you left and right. Make sure that you start to build a mental armor, so then you're ready for life. And that comes with a very physical way, and the physical helps out the mental. People think, oh, David Goggins just wakes the fuck up and he just gets this shit on, he gets this fuck after. No, I don't. I don't get up and get after it. I look at my shoes sometimes for hours. I pass them. I go, I get stuff to drink, I go to the bathroom, I'll watch TV, I'll start doing some work, and I'll look at those fucking shoes, because why? My body's saying, go fuck yourself. So you have to be able to win the morning. You have to be able to not allow that to get too deep in your brain. And when things get really tough for you, when you're out there on like day 17 and your knees are hurting and your back is hurting, your shoulders are hurting, your elbows got elbow tendonitis and all kind of shit going on, you got to start remembering your resume. Along the way, I came up with this 40% rule. And it's this governor that we have in our brains. The governor I had in my brain when I was 24, and I was abused, and I was called, and I was fat, and my dad beat me with a belt buckle, and I couldn't read and write. So I had this governor on my brain, because right now, if I didn't take the governor off, I would be that fat black dude working for Ecolab, spraying for cockroaches to this day. Because it's amazing looking back. It's the scariest thing in the world for me, knowing that that was David Goggins. And I could have died that guy versus this one. So what we do is the brain, as you know, cars, back in the day, they had governors on them. And if you go so fast, 97, it says 130, but at 97, we're gonna start kicking you like this. You ain't going no fast, you ain't gonna chase that Corvette. That's what we do to our brains, but instead of Ford or Chevrolet being the factory, we are the factory. And we put these governors in our minds, and we keep them there. And the more pain and the more suffering, the more toxic shit that happens to our lives, it brings us back to this governor. And you have to know how to release that governor and get your full potential. And that's where I realized that I was living, after all the stuff I went through, I realized that was my thing, man. I had this governor in my mind, and it kept getting set somewhere in my life. So I took that off. So I can grind hard, because a lot of times, man, I'm in mental aid stations, chilling. People have talent. People have a lot of talent. And this is going beyond your talent. So when there's no more talent, what happens to you? Most people quit. People only go to their talent level. And once their talent level is gone, it becomes a mental game. That the whole mental game sets in then. And most people can only perform to their talent, and they realize, man, why am I always messing up right here? Why is this like my big hurdle? It's because you're performing to your talent. And then after that, your mind has nothing for you. We got to get you to the point where you're into that mental zone, because we got to get you way past your talent. And it's hard for coaches to take these fighters or whoever past their talent. And on the other side of that is where they gain true levels. The levels beyond talent, that's where it really is. Because if you're able to take a motherfucker down to the deep end, while motherfucker's just putting his toe in, feeling the water and shit. If the motherfucker's in the deep end, he would take you down there and he's mentally strong, it's over. It's over, man. Because they live in the deep end. They live in it, man. They thrive in it. Mental toughness isn't something that you sample. It's something that you live in every day. So when something hard would happen to these kids, like in Hell Week, it would draw on something that made them very insecure. And they look for comfort. Whenever hardness comes, and you don't know what it is, it may be different for you than it is for me, but you go back to your insecurities. And then when you go back to your insecurities, you then look for comfort within those insecurities. And we all look for that cookie that your mom used to give you when you were sad, when you were sick. We look for our wife or our husband. We look for comfort. It's in those moments you must retrain your mind to think differently in hell. And that's the mentality I took with me. And what happened through that process was all the frivolous things of life started to float away. I used to tell people lies so they would like me. Because I was so insecure. When you start to build yourself up and start to have the one thing that we don't have is confidence. Real, authentic confidence from hard work. Everything else goes away. You no longer look to other people for your self-esteem.
Validation.
That's right. You now know. I walk in a room now and I know the hours and years and decades I put into David Goggins. While it helps you, it also hurts you to come from darkness, because why? It's easy for me to sit back and say, you know what? Poopy pants mentality. I want to sit back and let the world take care of me now. And that's what I'm talking about. Don't play sick too long. While my childhood was so messed up, I played sick way too long, and I almost lost tons of opportunities by playing sick. Because it feels good to play sick. My dad beat the fucking shit out of me, man. I couldn't read. I can't read. You know, when I was a junior in high school, I couldn't read. If you live that life, it feels good for people to, oh man, you know, that's just David, man. He's just not real smart, and he had a bad life, and you get a get out of jail free card. That's nice. It sucks doing what I had to do to get here today. That was not fucking fun. That darkness is, there's nothing that dark to drive me to the place I had to go to become successful. So I've had this mentality for years. It got me through a lot of hard times. You cannot use it every day of your life.
That's what I was thinking.
You cannot use it. I use it as like, my God, this is the perfect, I found it. This is the trick. You don't even matter. You're just a machine. You are a machine. Like just like a lever. That's all you are, man. You're not. And in my book, I talk about what that lever starts to get rusty, starts to get crusty. It starts to, like, I can't even think about anybody but myself. So through the process, what I started to learn was that helps a lot. And you can tap into that all the time. But you have to be able to heal yourself. You have to be able to recover yourself. It can't be something that you continue to do and do and do. There has to be a recovery process for your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit. Encompasses your whole body. So those are tactics, but those tactics must be oiled up. That lever has to be oiled again to go back in it. And that's the mindset I always want to have. Not like I'm not proud of myself, but you have to always keep that, like, I want to keep that dog in me. And I can't always know everything. So how you get better is, so right now I'm way up here now. I was way down here. But what makes you way up here is being from way down here. So I love going back. I call it, so when I was growing up for like 3 years, so from the time I was 8 to the time I was like 12, we lived in a $7 a month place. And what I call it is I'm always paying rent in that $7 a month home. Every day of my life. I go back and revisit that place because that place made me this good animal. That place made me this hard man. And then from that place, so that place is hard work. That place is going back to the fundamentals of life. The fundamentals of what made David Goggins. Going back in there, going back to the library of David Goggins, studying even more than what I know, taking that out, going back to where I'm at now, and then moving forward. I wanted to be an expert in the mind, a mental toughness guy, beyond mental toughness. The only way to do that, in my eyes, is to put yourself in hell. Put it in hell repeatedly. Repeatedly put yourself in hell and study how you process it. That's your new norm. So then it's like breathing. And then once you do this over and over and over again, it becomes like breathing. Because to get to where you want to go, the amount of pain involved, I'm not saying physical, I'm not saying you got to break yourself off. The amount of mental pain of how many times you're going to have to do something that you don't want to do to get to where you want to go is going to be, there's going to be more times you do something that you don't want to do than you are going to want to do it. And that's your new norm. If you weren't born that guy, that mentally strong guy, he can be made. Woman, man, whatever the hell you are, it can be made. But in making that person, you have to be able to turn down book deals. You have to be who the fuck you are every day of your life and never care about anybody who gets in your way that said you're not doing something the proper way. I was always afraid of people not wanting to, like, when you get beat as bad as I did, I lied all the time. I wanted to be accepted and loved and all that shit that I created about 50 people. Whatever you like, I like. Just if you would be my friend, just be my friend. And that's where we get lost in life. Judge yourself against no one but yourself. You're racing against no one but yourself. And when you continuously think that when you compare yourself to other people, you are losing the race. And it's like, this race is you against you, man. So don't get caught up in all this bullshit out here of the social media, and this is where I'm at, and this is what I'm doing, and this is how great I am. Fucking leave all that shit behind, man. Worry about yourself, worry about what you're doing, and worry about where you're going, and only where you're going to be your best self. I get a bunch of questions every day about how did I lose 100 pounds so fast. It's a simple answer. Stop procrastinating, stop wishing, and you gotta outwork your calories. If your calories are outworking you, you're always gonna be the person you don't wanna be. Get after it. But if you live this on a daily basis and you know how to calm your mind down, the self-talk will help. All that stuff will help. But usually we react. We have pain, we have suffering, we react. And we react about, get the out of here. We gotta go. It's those people who are able to control that fucking feeling of fucking flight and say, no, there's a way through this. It's not gonna be here forever. I'm not cold right now. I went through 3 of them. I'm not cold now. I'm in a nice warm studio with you. You gotta think about that. This shit's gonna end. It's gonna end, but we don't know that. We don't think that. At that time, it's gonna last forever. And then you get to sit back on Friday with everybody walking across back on the grinder, all the 16, 17, 18 guys that graduated Hell Week, and you get a chance to watch these guys victorious. And then you get the chance to think about that. You take that hot, warm shower, first thing that comes to your fucking mind is, why the fuck did I quit? So what keeps me going? I've quit several things. I know what's on the back end of quitting. And it's a lifetime of thinking about, why the fuck did I do that? When I was in training, we had a guy with this funky ass attitude. Brought it every day. It was contagious. He just wouldn't go away, he wouldn't quit. So I knew there's one evolution out there that he'd think about quitting on. It was called steel pier. They lay you on this steel pier, they hold you down. It's windy and cold in San Diego. They put you in the water and you repeat that cycle. We're in the water treading. He looks at me and goes, Goggins, you want to quit? I go, yeah, let's get the fuck out of here, man. We walk to the bell. He rings it. He looks at me, waits for me to ring it. I said, well, stay a little longer. Have fun in your civilian life. Hey, you got a bad attitude? Stay at home. One thing more contagious than a good attitude is a bad one. I'm all about that kind of mentality, but I would sometimes take it to another level. You know, I wasn't part of a good old boy network. I didn't want to be part. I wanted to be David Goggins. For too long in my life, and it got me in trouble. For too long in my life, I wanted to be accepted. Growing up, I lied. I did what I could. If you fucking like UFC and I didn't, I love it. I love it, man. Let's go fucking watch it, man. Be my friend. Be my buddy. That fucking weak ass shit. I found out through this path of life, who is David Goggins? Who am I? So going through I did it alone. There was no fucking trophy on the fucking wall, on the mantle. That trophy's in my fucking brain. No one helped me get there. No one paid my fucking bills. No one did shit for me. No one ran those fucking miles, lost that fucking weight, went through it. I suffered on my own and developed this man who said, it's who I am, man. So I went from David Goggins and I created Goggins. And that journey is a priceless journey that is hard for me to even explain to people because it sounds so quick and easy. Like I lost this weight and I went through 3 hell weeks. I went to Ranger School, went to Delta Force Selection, whatever it is. It was brutal. It's a brutal journey every fucking day. And everybody goes, well, are you happy? If anybody knows my life story, and I'll try to give you just a snippet of it, where I'm at today is in front of Joe Rogan telling you my life. To get through where I became, to get through where I'm at now, there's nothing but pride I have for myself that I can't really show people. Because I have this face that they see like, are you happy? What's wrong with you? I'm driven, I'm obsessed. And that's what you see. Day after day after day. That's the thing about what you're doing right now that's challenging, is a lot of motherfuckers can sign up for the one-day event. A lot of people do. A lot of these CEOs, a lot of these people who don't want to suffer, as a living, who don't want to suffer as making it a habit, what they do is they go out and they recruit these people to put them through a 2-day, 3-day challenge. Anybody can do that shit because your mind can process 2 or 3 days of suck. What you're doing, my friend, is going to be damn near a month of suck. That's where it starts. It's that mentality of I'm going to pick up that fucking Pulaski and I'm going to dig this fucking fire line for 3 damn miles. That's that mentality I never want to lose. I never want to get so nice with, oh, yeah, I did it, man. I did it. I'm good. That mentality of I'm willing to pick up that shovel and I'm willing to dig a 3-mile line, there's something about that mentality that I'm ready to go to work at any time. And that's what keeps me, those are the sparks. Like, I look at motivation as just a spark. It's like kindling. How a big fire starts, it starts with a little smoke. It starts with a little cigarette being thrown in the woods. Next thing you know, all California's burn up. That's what I've been doing my whole life, is I find these little sparks. And once that little thing takes off, that's a 1-hour fuel. Then you got 10-hour fuel. Then you can move that thing to a 10,000-hour fuel. These big logs and big trees that burn for days. And that's where you want to bring that motivation. That's where you want to bring that drive. And I look at it as psychological warfare. And that's where I started learning that life is one big psychological warfare that you play on yourself. You play on yourself, man. The most important conversation I ever had is with myself. And the shit I was telling myself was so tough, it was so wrong, it was so misguided. And other people start to write that dialogue for you also. And it starts to be what you say to yourself every single day. And I started creating a whole nother warfare, a whole nother battle started becoming. I was like, oh, hang on a second, Goggins. You have these tools. You have these tools. Your life was basically the perfect grounds for training for where you need to go in your life. All the beatings, all the bullying, all the, you going through learning disabilities, all the struggles. It was the absolute perfect training ground for you to go to where you need to go. And that's how I started looking at my life. I think that mental health is the most important thing in the world because the mind wants to have control over you. You need to have control over your own mind. So that's all about the mental health. Your mind's going to always guide you in a spot that wants to make you feel comfortable and nice and secure. And it's in those spots that there's no growth. Without friction, there's no growth. So that's what I constantly preach about. You have to get outside that comfort zone to find that every day of your life. I get one question a lot. When will I ever be satisfied? I'm very happy, but I'm not satisfied. I've accomplished a lot in my life, and I'm very proud of that. But I won't be, you know what? I run past a cemetery a lot at home. And when I run past a cemetery, it saddens me because there's a lot of people there, not because they're dead, because there's a lot of untapped potential. A lot of us die never tapping into our full potential. And I often look at wash rags when I'm wringing them out to hang them up as my soul. And I won't be satisfied until every drop of that wash rag, which is my soul, is completely wrung out. So in my life, I won't be satisfied until everything I have in me is completely out of me. And that's when I'll be satisfied. And I started realizing if that's my mentality, this shit ain't hard anymore.
Right.
Your new normal is you wake up, you get in the fucking cold water, you're gonna be here till this shit's fucking done. Whenever they say you're out, you get out. So my new norm, so I do that now today. My new norm now is if I'm doing a 200-mile run, your new norm now, man, is you fucking are doing 200 fucking miles. Remind yourself of what you've been through back in the past, back in the day, to get to where you're at today. So that's what I do, is a constant reminder. And then through that process, I guarantee you, your mind and body will say, oh, we got this. We've been here before. Maybe not in that kind of pain and suffering, but we've been here before in the demons of your own mind. So that's the best reminder in the world. If you don't see results in the first 2 days or the first week, I'm done. That's the mentality of most people. The struggle is too real. We're not patient. We like in a world where you can Google the best restaurants around me right now, no one is patient. And for you to lose weight, for you to stop drinking, whatever the hell you're going through, it takes a lot of patience, a lot of time, and a lot of pitfalls, a lot of plateaus. You're gonna hit so many fucking plateaus. If you don't know how to get around that plateau, it's not gonna happen fast. You gotta change the internal dialogue. That person in your head that's talking that shit to you, until you change the internal dialogue in your head, until you callous over the victim's mentality that the world is out to get you because of you are the only, you gotta change that shit, man. And the only way I could find myself was through putting myself through the worst thing possible. No one helped me. No one felt sorry for me. No one looked at me and said, like this day and age, they'll take you in and they'll tell everybody, stop picking on this person. Back then, they didn't care. What I realized is for me to become the man I wanted to become, I saw myself as the weakest person God ever created. But I never blamed God for anything he did to me. So I wanted to change that to be the hardest man ever created. Am I that? I don't know, but you had to have a goal. And my goal when I was sitting there, not going to school, being bullied, having no self-esteem, my goal was the only person that's gonna turn this person around is me. And the only way I can turn it around is put myself through the worst things possible a human being can ever endure. And that'd be the only way that I can build this brain to handle anything that comes in front of it, callousing my mind through pain and suffering. If you don't get over that, you're doomed. Because what happens is this, you start to create a whole bunch of people that aren't even yourself. You never figure out who you are. You never live up to your dreams, your ambition. You live up to what whoever is around you that you like so much, that you want to emulate and be like so much, you live their dreams. You lose your power. You lose your power. The ultimate power is owning yourself. That's the big thing, man. And that's why it was important for me to finally realize, stop being all these fake people I used to be. Stop being afraid. There was no growth until I cut myself down to nothing, to the person I really was, the real human being. And once I found out who I really was, that's when I started growing. I was trying to build on top of a lied, fucked up foundation. You can't build a house on a fucked up foundation. So I had to get down to the actual mineral soil of who I was, and that's when you can start real growth. So embracing the suck, it really is something that you have to tell yourself, because we don't want to embrace the suck. You know, not even me. I don't want to embrace the suck, but it comes down to a lot, man. Like, I'm all about trying to be the best leader I can. You know, so through all these things in life, man, to be your best person, you have to find your best self. And to do that, you can't stay in the comfortable world. You have to be very, not always uncomfortable, but you know, you gotta find a spot that's not so comfortable. I got about 5 o'clock. I woke up and saw you chilling out. Saw the f***ing dog all hung over from trees and I thought to myself, that f***ing dog is lucky we feed it. About myself, I gotta feed myself. And every foot strike that hits the pavement, that's how I feed myself. Motherfuckers look for inspiration. Inspiration is found in every footstep you take, every grasp of that fucking iron bar, all that, all the miles in the pool. Inspiration is found in suffering. So right now, this is my greatest recovery. As I recover, I find inspiration. Stay hard.
And what I realized for myself and for a lot of people is that life is one big tug of war between mediocrity and trying to find your best self. So there's tricks to all this crap in life. Life is one big head game. One trick in this situation is, so I didn't want to run, so what did I do? I figured out a couple of things. You have to sometimes let mediocrity think that you're giving into it. So I said, you know what, instead of going for a 20-miler, let's go out for an easy 6 or 7. What that did to my brain was it said, okay, mediocrity thought it won. So it let loose a little bit. It let go of that, oh, this is gonna suck. This is gonna be okay, it's not too bad. The second you get to mile 2, guess what happens? Greatness pulls mediocrity in the mud. Get out there and get after it.
We all know a stage 10 clinger. Those people who just hold on to everything. We got people out there whose boyfriend or girlfriend broke up with them, and they obsess about them. They know what girlfriend they have or boyfriend they have. They know what kind of car they're driving. They know about the new promotion, the new house and shit. We got people out there who've been done wrong, just can't get over it. Can't get over not getting that school you want to get into. Past failures, disappointments, holding on to all that shit isn't healthy as the sun rises and the sun sets, and you're in the same damn spot.
A lot of people don't remember what the f they've accomplished in life. And at that time of suffering, you have to be able to fucking go through and pull up that fucking who the fuck I am resume and say, oh, for you, I'm sure you studied your fucking ass off for hours and days and years to get where you're at. I guarantee you did shit harder than this. And that's basically what you have to go back to, but it's hard to do because in that moment of suffering, all you can fucking think about is getting the fuck out of it. So you got to take that 1 second to pull yourself out of that suffering to have a clear fucking thought. It's hard to have clear thoughts in the midst of extreme pain and suffering.
The only way you're ever going to get to the other side of this journey is you have got to suffer to grow. To grow, you must suffer. And some people will get it and some people won't. But they have to see what their journey is to start their journey. Several people live to be 100 years old and they have great lives and they have great kids. Their kids go to college and all sorts of stuff. But somewhere in their life, there was a point where they had a decision to make. They can go left or right on this path. Left was the easy route. Right was the hard route. A lot of people take the easy route. And they had a good life that way, but the better life was going to the right side. And you may have 20 years of pain and suffering to get past it, but a lot of us die never truly starting our journey. And I would tell this young person, you got to start your journey. It may suck, but it will come out the other side where you're coasting. For me to fix this, I got to read what the f is wrong with David Goggins. Go in the military, get your ass kicked, do things you hate to do, be uncomfortable every day of your life. Roger that. I'm not the smartest kid in the world. Okay. Instead of somebody saying, oh no, you're smart. No, don't say that to yourself. I said to myself, no, I'm a dumb motherfucker. Okay, roger that. How you get smarter? Educate yourself. So the things that we run from the truth. We're running from the truth, man. So the only way I became successful was going towards the truth. As painful and as brutal as it is, it changed me. It allowed me to become, in my own right, who I am today. It's okay to be unbalanced for a while. It's okay. Don't be all this stuff people say, you got to be balanced. To be the best in the world at what you do. It's not about being a Navy SEAL, people. The best at what you do, you have to be unbalanced to find every bit of fucking energy and strength that you have to pull it off. Then you get balanced once you become great. And then you help other people become better from you being the best in the world. So if your family doesn't understand, why are you so daggone crazy? Because I'm trying to be the best I can to give you the best that I am. And it takes being fucking obsessed to where people think you're crazy. People look at me and say, oh my God, you're a masochist, you're this and that. I'm not gonna get into how bad I was in all these races and SEAL training. I had 21 stress fractures going through Hell Week. 21 stress fractures. You know what I did? I taped my ankles up. Roger that. I want to be a SEAL. So I did it. Become obsessed with being great.
So I get one question a lot. It's how did I go from 297 to 191 and not get a lot of flat in the skin? So how I did it was doing 100 reps, 200 reps, and 300 reps on machines like this. So what I would do is I go to the gym 3 days a week and I keep my pace up real fast. My repetitions quick pace, keep my heart rate up, burning calories and also driving through, getting that muscle burn. And my only resting position would be in the up position. And I rest no longer than 10 seconds, breathe, and get back at it again. So it sucks a lot. Lightweight, get after it. So my first 100-mile race I did, I was actually doing 500 reps. I brought this workout back with a guy named Sledge from the book. And we were doing a lot of reps, no running at all. So I believe that's what allowed me to do so well my first 100-mile race, even though I shit on myself.
So I make sure I do at least one thing every day that sucks. It could be for an hour, it could be for 2 hours, sometimes it's for 10 hours. But every day I do something to strengthen the mind. We're all looking for this great mythical mental toughness. Mental toughness doesn't come from sitting on the couch. It doesn't come from wishing it will come true. It comes from putting in the work. And you have to start developing your mindset. Mindset is not developed by wishing. Mindset is developed by doing and actually putting into practice. And when you take that mindset and you learn to flip that around, that's what made me powerful. And my body followed. But if you never know that, you're still in the $7 a month place. When I was sick, I was able to slow it down and reflect back on my entire life. And in that bed, when I thought I was dying, I didn't care if I died or lived. Wow. Because I was, for the first time in my life, happy.